What is happening, y'all? Welcome back to the Media Goose channel. It is I, the Media Goose, your friend Ryan, and the goose is loose, baby. Huh? And I am coming at you today to talk about Monday Night Raw. We are 25 days away from WrestleMania, and business is picking up. I really enjoyed Raw last night. I thought the show moved at a really good pace. I thought matches that I thought might be filler were actually really entertaining. So I'm going to start with the main event because it was Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and the Usos. As CM Punk is about to walk out, Jimmy is waiting there. Jimmy says, "Be careful what you say out there. My brother's on a warpath." And Punk goes out. He's hyping up the crowd, doing all the high fives. I really enjoy seeing CM Punk enjoy his job and like love the fans. It's really cool. Then he gets in the ring and he calls out the entire family. He says how Roman said that there would be Samoans coming for him, but there's been no Samoans. Anybody that sees him doesn't act tough when he's actually around. It was funny. Before Punk went in the ring, he said to Cole and Corey, "I'm going to say some stupid stuff." And I thought it was excellent. CM Punk says Roman pissed him off when he called him old. He says that he's not ashamed of his age. He doesn't comb out his gray hairs with Just for Men like Roman does. That got a pop. He talks about how Roman is his young boy, and he's not going to let his young boy call him old. He says that I am old. I'm old like Terry Funk. I'm old like Gordie Howe. I've still beaten guys like Gunther, like Jay, and then Jay's music hits. I was kind of hoping other family members might get involved because he went at the whole family, so I wasn't upset, but I was hoping for more people. Then Jay comes out and he's hot. He gets up in Punk's face. He's like, "Man, you must have been dropped on your head too much because you're out here running your mouth again." And Punk says, "Look, you never got your rematch to be world champion, so how about we run that back right now? I'm not in wrestling attire, but I'm a fighting champion." And then Jimmy comes out and he's like, "Hey, what's going on? What's going on?" He's the voice of reason. The Usos are very good cop, bad cop right now. And Jimmy ends up trying to calm things down. And once it escalates again and they're popping off at each other, Roman's music hits. And the OTC comes down. Oh, one funny thing. When Jay's music hits, Punk was like, "What is he gonna do? Yeet me to death?" I got a laugh out of me. I really enjoyed that. Roman comes down to the ring, tells Jimmy, he was like, "As respectfully as I can say this, take your brother, get the hell out of my ring." And Jimmy placates to that and is like, "Yeah, sure, no problem, let's roll." And as they're like leaving the ring, Jay says, "Screw it," and he runs at Punk, gets dropped. Jimmy runs at Punk. Then the big Oos, the OTC, goes at Punk, and Punk's getting jumped. And Adam Pearce and all of the people from backstage run out. And as the Usos are taken out of the ring, it looks like Roman's done. And then Jay goes, "Hey, Joe." Not Roman. Joe. Get his ass. Get his ass. He hypes up Roman to the point where Roman snaps. And Roman acts like tribal chief heel Roman Reigns instead of complacent babyface Roman Reigns. He spears Punk. You think that might be it. Jay's like, "Nah, keep going, keep going." He's like the devil on his shoulder. He takes Punk out of the ring, smashes him into the post twice. Then he power bombs him through the table. I thought this was an excellent segment. I think that It's funny hearing the discourse about whether this match or Cody and Randy more deserves the main event of night 2. The way I see it, a lot of times the things that go into deciding who the main event of a show is the extra stuff involved. Like, whenever Brock returned, whoever he was fighting was always the main event. When The Rock returned a couple times, the person he was returning against was in the main event. So, as much as people are thinking Randy could have been calling The Rock, I don't get that. I think it's more likely The Rock would show up for WrestleMania Night 2. There was another segment in the back between the Usos and LA Knight where Jay and LA Knight were hot at each other. And Jimmy said, "Man, you better watch how you talk about my family." And when he walked away, Dwayne, The Rock Johnson, was on the truck in the back. I really like what they're doing with this story, man. You also had Solo getting told he was acting like Roman. You had LA Knight tell Jay he was acting like Roman. So I wonder if those might end up over here. They're a part of the family. Jacob, would he come out and attack somebody? Naya's part of anybody, you know? It could be Rikishi, The Rock. I think this story is going to be the talking point coming out of Mania based on what happens. I think it's going to be something big. So, now to the top of the show, we had Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar open things up. And it was kind of typical. I was a little surprised the way they went, but I think it was the right decision. A lot of times Paul Heyman will very aggressively put people over in a build to a Brock Lesnar match. This was the opposite, where he was calling Oba overhyped, all these things, saying all these people who have come and stepped to the beast before were put down. He names drops Dean Ambrose. That gets a pop. Bobby Lashley. And then when Oba's coming out, this dude's going to be, I think he is the next, like, face of the company, superstar level guy. They were cutting to kids in the audience doing the strut. He's crazy over. He tries to get Oba up for an F5. He cannot, and he takes Brock out of the ring. And I think it's good that they're pushing how much of a threat Oba is. When this segment first ended, I was kind of like, oh no, are they saying all of this? Like, or no, is Oba went over twice, back-to-back weeks. Does that mean he's going to lose at Mania? I don't think so. I think the way Heyman cut that promo, I don't know. I just think, believe, hope that they know they got to have Oba win this match. Then we get a Dom Mysterio vignette. We find out he is going to be facing Penta for the IC title later in the night. And then we get a non-title match between the Usos and the Vision. Jay hadn't yeeted in like 3 weeks, and he came out yeeting, and I was kind of like, damn it. He was angry for the rest of the show, so it's fine, but I like the separation from the yeeting. This was a fine match. They were going to use the brass knuckles, but then LA Knight came out. Jay picks up the brass knuckles and knocks out Austin Theory in plain sight of the ref and gets disqualified. And then he goes back and hits Logan, so he knocks out both of them. I thought it was good. I feel like Jay playing the, like, compulsive hothead, he always does it really well. And this made sense to get to the tag team match we're getting next week, as we found out in a video package later, or a backstage segment between Pierce and Heyman. We're going to have a Madison Square Garden street fight for the men's tag team championships next week. Then we have a Becky Lynch promo talking about how when she came back, she elevated the Women's Intercontinental Championship. She talks about how her daughter was skipping around the house like AJ and singing AJ's song. It was excellent. Then AJ comes out, Becky flees, and I think it was a really good promo from both. AJ says things like, your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler, and apparently your daughter's favorite wrestler. That was a good line. Becky had a great line where she was like, you fell into my trap. Last time you had a Mania match 10 years ago, you lost, and then the next day you went into management and quit. So I'm going to make this easy for you. You are not walking out of WrestleMania. I wonder if they're going to make this a stipulation match. I could see a submission match. They both have submission finishers. So I could definitely see that becoming a submission match. I think that would be sick. Or some kind of like street fight or something like that. Then we've got Waller and Javon. This was the match I was talking about where it was way better than I was anticipating it being. Both guys looked really good. Even Waller, I don't have like the highest thoughts of Waller, but he really performed well here. Javon, every week he just does such insane stuff. Waller did a sick like leap over Javon into a what's it called? Unprettier. Christian and Chelsea Green use it. That was sick. And Javon just leaping all over the place looked incredible. He did a leaping Rana off the top into the OG cutter. It was incredible. I really thought that was a really good match. And later in the night, we had Javon talking during a commercial saying he's going for the Intercontinental title, which is great news. Heyman and Seth. I thought this was good as well. I really enjoyed this. I felt like Heyman not wanting to be there, but saying a man's got to do what a man's got to do. Maybe we got to fight. Then when Seth does come out, the cops get there. At first, I was like, why would it not just be security? But then Seth says, oh, yeah, you paid for cops. So I thought that was a nice touch. As Seth is in violation of the restraining order Heyman had filed, he gets escorted out by the cops. On his way out, Heyman cuts a great promo saying, you're going to go to jail, your wife's going to leave you, and then they're going to call protective services for your daughter. But don't worry, I will adopt her. And Seth runs to the ring, knocks Heyman down, and gets arrested. So I'm assuming Seth is arrested now. Maybe him and Breaker have their, like, Mania set up next week in the Garden. Then, what do I got next? The Kabuki Warriors versus Bayley and Lyra. Thoroughly enjoyed this. I love all four people. The Kabuki Warriors, Kairi and Asuka, two of my favorite women's wrestlers of all time. Asuka is my favorite women's wrestler of all time. Her comedy, the serious stuff, there's nothing Asuka can't do. And she lays her shit in, man. I thought this was like an A match. I really enjoyed this. I don't enjoy the Bellas. I don't really enjoy Nia, but these two teams I thoroughly enjoy, so I am excited for whatever multi-women match happens at Mania. Then we've got Penta and Speed backstage. He teaches him the dance, the Penta walk, and Speed and Danhausen. Danhausen curses, I show Speed. I show Speedhausen. That was funny. Then we get Io and the Kabuki Warriors backstage, furthering that. Raquel walks up. We're getting Raquel and Io next week. That'll be a great match. And now for the final segment, since I already covered the main event, Dom and Penta had their IC title match. This was fine. I didn't think it was like a pay-per-view quality match or anything. Really, I don't even know that it was better than Javon and Waller earlier in the night, but it was good enough, and kind of figured, I was hoping Phoenix would come down to even the odds, but it was Finn Balor. That makes sense, since it looks like they're going to be going to Mania with Dom and Finn. So Penta retains, and it's interesting. I wonder if Dom and Finn would be involved in an IC title multi-man, or if they'll have their own singles match. That'll be interesting to see how they go there. But Javon wants in. So the people involved, you got Penta, Javon, Dom, JD. I've been saying JD belongs in that. Who else? Gunther has nothing going on. Do you put Gunther back in the IC title? There's a lot of people you could get involved there. I think the women's Intercontinental going one-on-one makes a lot of sense. So maybe the men's Intercontinental will end up being a multi-man. I really enjoyed Raw last night, y'all. Now, granted, I had taken like a week off of smoking weed, so maybe the fact that I smoked last night made me enjoy the show, but I had a lot of fun with that show. I thought the main event segment really built the tension. I think it's good that I don't know where they're going. I could still see Punk turning heel at Mania. I could see Roman going full heel. I don't think last night was like a concrete heel turn. I could see the Usos turning on Roman at Mania. I could see them realigning. Everything is in play in a really exciting way. There's 2 weeks left. I want to see some Samoans attack CM Punk. Whether it's like videos of backstage at other wrestling shows throughout the week, or if Punk has media appearances this week, have Jacob show up, have Solo show up and hit him with a Samoan spike. Tama told Solo he was acting like Roman, so maybe that sends Solo back. I told y'all, Mania should end with the original bloodline reformed. The Usos, Solo, Roman, and Paul Heyman potentially. But at least those four. Hell, maybe Sammy. There's a lot of speculation that Sammy and Trick might do a double turn where they go in babyface and heel and they switch, where Trick comes out as the heel and Sammy comes out as the face. Or no, Trick comes out as the face, Sammy comes out as the heel. And then would you throw Sammy back with the OG bloodline with his boys? So I think there's a lot of really great options. I'm excited for next week in the Garden. New York crowd's always great. And there's some good matches on the card. So I thought last night was a really great episode of Raw that definitely got me more excited going into Mania. I am going to make a WrestleMania card prediction video. I'm probably going to record it today and post it tomorrow. Comment down below if you have some matches you think will happen, matches that you wanted to happen but it no longer looks like could happen. Let me know. How are you feeling as we're getting closer to WrestleMania now? Just 25 days away. If you're still watching, do me a favor, like the video, comment. I haven't plugged that stuff yet. I try to keep the videos as free of that kind of like me asking for stuff. But if you're still here, hit like, comment down below. Help me with the engagement. It'll help my videos get into that damn algorithm so YouTube starts sharing my stuff. Thank you guys for watching, and the Goose is out. Hey!